Santa's been. So now we've got what oiled for the radiator, and not one, not two, not three, but 4 new tanks. So today what we're going to do is we're going to set these up, put some gravel in, set up some filtration, and set them off to start cycling. Now these have all came with heaters, but I'm going to try a little experiment here because this room is lovely and toasty. I'm not going to put the heaters in the tanks just yet, and I'm going to set them off with cold water, cycling, and then I'm going to see how the heat in the room works as opposed to keeping the tanks nice and warm, because the plan is I'm going to heat the room instead of the tanks, if that makes sense. And all these tanks have all got heaters in, so they'll probably kick in if that didn't. But yeah, I'm off on a bit, but basically I'm going to try these without the aquarium heaters in and see what happens. So I've got the little scrap bits of foil still that I used to line the tanks originally when they were just in the garage, and you get a bit of a sort of backdrop like that. So I'm just going to put them on the back just to tidy them up a little bit, and yeah, start cycling. So we'll get on with that, and then I'll just keep videoing as we go. But everyone's looking happy today. Blue shrimp are doing great. They're reproducing. I went from about a dozen to, I don't know, there's probably about 30 in there. There's the orange ones as well. They're doing good. Again, gone from about, I think I got 8 originally. There'll be about 30 in there. There's my black Moscows. I might put them in one of the bigger tanks. Well, the bigger tank. They're doing well. There's 2 females there ready to pop. Yeah, platies. They're not breeding though, which is a bit strange. Don't know what's going on there. So I'll have to have a little rethink about that. Yeah, everything else is doing great. Look at all the koi guppy babies in there, look. They're doing well. They're doing well, so I'm just leaving them alone basically. You know, I always think if something's working, then why alter it? And there's me black Venezuelan and albino red snakeskin guppy there, look. There's its partner. Right, anyhow, this is what happens. You come in here and start to do a job, and then you start looking at the fish and time passes. But anyway, got all day. She's away shopping, so got all day to potter about. So there you go. There's the back attached to that, which I think it just makes it a little bit better. Just hides all the wires and that from behind the tank. So done that one, and then just have 3 smaller ones to do. So there you go. There's the 3 tanks done. Looks a bit futuristic, doesn't it? Right, put some gravel in now. So I've just been sort of scaping the tanks a little bit, putting some wood and some rocks in. As you can see, the sponge filters. It's all come together. So all I'm doing now is connecting the air lines to the sponge filters in the new tanks. And this one here, you can see I've just put a non-return valve on, just in case there's any, the pump turns off and there's any water goes back up the tube and could like siphon the tank out. I don't know how likely that is, but I have heard horror stories about that happening. So just to be on the safe side, I'm just putting the sort of siphon traps on the pipes. There's the pump. It's a fantastic pump that. Got it out of Santa as well, and it comes with 4 air stones and 4 lengths of tube, and like a 4 valve there, see it? 4-way valve, sorry. So yeah, so you can work 4 tanks off that. It's got loads of power. So I'm just connecting that up. So all I do is just put the pipe into the sponge filter and then just offer it over the top of the tank, and then just roughly about there snip the tube and put the anti-siphon device in, and there you go, easy as that. So let us know in the comments below, do you bother with such things? Do you think it's worth doing, or do you think it's just a waste of time? So as you can see there, the sponge filter's just floating. Don't worry too much about that. As you fill the tank up, just put your hand in, squeeze the filter a couple of times, let the water soak into the sponge, and it'll sit on the bottom like that. And just put a little bit of gravel around the bottom base, and hey presto, there you go. They're all set up. Sponge filters are working. I've just put the lights on just so you can see. Yeah, just leave them to cycle now and do a water test a couple of weeks time, see how they're getting on, and then hopefully maybe February start putting some shrimp in. So at the minute I've got orange sun-kissed in there, I've got blue in there, I've got mixed cherry and quite a lot of other tanks I've just put in just to keep the tanks clean, you know, just to clean up crew. I've got my yellow in there, so I'll be moving the yellow into one of them definitely, and then maybe seeing if I can breed the red to stay red, if you know what I mean. So then I've got yellow and red, and then I might buy another breed, we'll see. But yeah, that's all good. So I've got that tank for fish, and I've got that tank for fish. I might move some fish about. So for instance, I might make the black Moscow guppy tank into another shrimp tank and take them out of there and put them in there with some of the fry as they grow, and see if I can breed some of them for auction. But we'll think about it, you know, that's a good thing. We've got plenty of options. We'll roll them in there though. You see them all? How many can you count? Can be few like. Right, well we'll catch you again soon.